much a Beamer costs anymore. Like, let's say $80,000. An $80,000 Beamer will get you to work just as fast as a $5,000 or $6,000 Mazda. Like, so if the value is utility, then I'm sorry, get something cheaper. Actually, that brings me to an interesting topic, I guess, that I want to bring up to you guys. This is more personal finance than it is, investing or whatever. But so you guys, as you guys may have heard, my car died. So that's fun. My car died. My Mini died.
Oh wow. Okay.
How did that happen, Miguel?
So the clutch needed to be replaced, and the value of the car was not enough, at least in my mind, to justify replacing the clutch in it.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, it would have been a $2,000 job to fix the clutch, and it's probably like a $6,000 or $7,000 car. Like, it just wasn't worth it. For that money, I could go buy another car. So I was on the highway, and then the clutch was like, "Hey man, I'm done." And so I pulled over, and then I got a tow truck to call me, to come and pick me up. And
how long did you have that? That car is so. I
love that car, man.
I'm just obsessed that you had that. Have it like.
I bought that car in 2014, so 8 years, 9 years.
Okay, so it had mileage on it already and stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It was almost at 100,000.
Okay.
Yeah, had I replaced the clutch, it probably would have lasted another like 5 or 6 years.
Almost at 100,000?
Yeah, it was 98,000 miles on it.
Dang, my car's got like 90 now. I'm driving.
Mine at like 120, and mine's from 2006.
See, that's why. That's what happens when you got money. You know what I'm saying? You can.
Mine almost got 200,000.
It's like it's 100,000. Let's live this life.
Right, Miguel.
Whatever.
I'm a baller.
That cash and coffee money.
Exactly.
So part of the reason why the car was worth a lot less than what it would normally be worth is because it had a lot of body damage that I never bothered to fix because I almost never drive. So, yeah.
Recording in progress.
Occasionally I have to go to like apartment buildings and do shit. And I like to visit my parents every once in a while. So realistically, I drive probably like twice a month, sometimes less. And my rationale for this is I will have a motorcycle over the course of the summer and into the winter, into the fall. As long as the roads aren't really bad, I can still ride it, right? And I've always wanted to own a motorcycle, so there's like the utility aspect, and I can buy a motorcycle that I like for less than the cost of for the amount of money that I would spend to buy a motorcycle that I like, I would be spending to get a car that I don't like, right? Or I could just go get a car note, in which case I don't want to do it because I just don't want to, because I think it's kind of dumb. So what do you guys think? Is it stupid?
Yes. I think you should look up motorcycle accidents and watch all the video footage and pictures you can.
Oh
first.
my God! Don't do that.
Okay, I'll do that. That is good.
You might change your mind. I've driven past a few, and like you get hit on a motorcycle, you are pretty much dead. Like you can't afford to get into an accident on a motorcycle. There's nothing protecting you. There's no crash cushion. There's no airbags. Nada. It's just you and the road.
Damn, gloom and doom.
Look, my uncle used to ride for years, man. He was a big Harley guy, and he stopped riding a motorcycle because cars on the road do not pay attention to motorcycles. They really don't. They will shift lanes on you and not even know you're there sometimes.
Yeah, I do think it's dangerous as well, and I've seen like a lot of accidents. But my God, yeah. Scott said go look up all of the negative aspects and then think about it.
It's just because they can be very, very dangerous.
They are dangerous.
Crowded area, like when you're crowded. So my uncle lives in Trenton, so he's in a crowded area too. When you're in a crowded city, a motorcycle is even more dangerous. It's different if you live in the countryside, like here. Like you can take back roads. There's no cars. You got your motorcycle. You're riding. Dude, that's cool. Like I grew up riding dirt bikes and quads. Like, but there's no cars on the road. You're just you and the woods or the road, and you're just driving. But like when you're in the middle of a city and people already don't pay attention to cars on the road, I mean, now you're sitting there and you have no cover or protection. There's nothing, just you and the bike.
Yeah.
And that's why he stopped. Like he said, he thought it was great when he was young. And now that he's like in his like early 60s, he's like, yo, it's stupid, man. He's like, I'm not risking my life on that anymore.
Yeah, after he got his jollies off already, Miguel didn't even get a
Right,
chance.
but I mean, like, he's looking back at it in hindsight. He does the same thing with tattoos. He got tattoos. He's like, you know what? I when I was younger, I probably never get a tattoo knowing what I know now.
I'm looking at a Tesla right now.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say. This is totally relevant to what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Thanks, Carlos.
Tesla.
It
nice.
is.
I like them.
You have cracked this conundrum for me.
Yes.
With that sentence.
Yeah, I've been looking at buying a Tesla for over 3 years.
I think you should get a Segway instead, Miguel. And just ride that around.
The whole thing
about getting a one wheel.
The whole thing
is I want a one wheel.
Is it stupid? Yes. Don't do it.
Is it stupid? All right. So we have one yes, one look up motorcycles.
Which means it's stupid.
Miguel, I don't think it's stupid, but I'm against it. I do think it's very dangerous, but that's just like focusing on the negative aspects. As your main transportation, I would say no. But if you want to have it on the side, like addition to something else, I would do it. I would just try not to be on it a lot because, like, you know, Scott said, there are a lot of dangerous, and when I hear people, they're like, oh my god, I seen it was a motorcycle accidents. That's all you kind of hear about, but that's focusing on the negative.
Yeah, but you know, people too on bikes tend to do reckless things. Like I'll be driving on the highway, you know, 4 lanes, and there's like a guy on a crotch rocket weaving in and out of traffic between cars and not even being in a lane. I'm like, he's doing like 100 miles an hour. I'm like, he's gonna kill himself.
I've seen that too. It's fucking obnoxious.
I'm like, dude, you're gonna end up dying by, you know, like someone stops short for a second and you flip end over end, like.
Yeah, Miguel, I would really rather you just get a car. To completely honest, I don't know what we would do if we lost you, man. I don't think there's anybody here. That's some terrifying stuff. So,
look, put it like this: how are you gonna carry bags?
That's the thing. I never carry bags.
Right.
Like I never.
Miguel lives in Fishtown. He's like the typical millennial. He just needs to
deal. He just skateboarded to somewhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I walk to work every day.
Walk to work? What? You're basing your whole life around that job like it's gonna be there forever.
No, but if not, then the next position that I get is probably going to be remote.
Right.
He can just one wheel it to work.
Miguel is the typical millennial. Very close to it.
Dude, if they weren't so expensive, like I wouldn't and looked into it. I'm like, oh yeah, I should get a one wheel, and I'm thinking like it's probably going to be close to the price of like the hoverboard, which is like $500.
I bet
$1,200.
Miguel invented paper straws.
Paper straws.
Paper straws.
Plastic.
It took me a second to get that.
Don't kill the turtles. Stop. You're killing the turtles. Those millennials, the crybaby millennials.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that the joke that the person made about that. He's like, we used to have plastic straws encased in paper. Now we have paper straws encased in plastic.
Right.
To save the planet.
I mean,
plastic.
Like this, I've been looking at getting this Tesla forever, but it just never makes any sense. No matter how much I look at it, no matter how much I look at it, it still doesn't make any sense.
It's a luxury. It's a luxury right now.
Yeah, they're cool. I mean, I like the fact that they got charging stations at a lot of the Wawas now. You can just park up and charge. That's kind of cool.
But even still, it's just a bad purchase. Even though it is a luxury, it's not really a good purchase to make.
How?
Well, because what does the car do that another car can't do at the same? It just does. It's just a car.
Helps with the environment a little bit better.
No, it doesn't.
A little bit better. Yes, it does. Because he's using renewable resources, which are, aside from the battery that can't be destroyed or whatever, you use electricity instead of gas, instead of fossil fuels.
How many other people are able to do that? So it doesn't matter.
What do you mean how many other people?
So basically, it does not matter. No.
Every bit counts.
No, it doesn't.
And they have tens of thousands of Teslas.
You can't make a transition if you don't start. So
exactly.
As far as like the argument that
listen to the millennial
that it's less that it's less impactful for the environment or that it doesn't make a difference, it does. Like the United States, I don't remember where I heard the statistic, but the United States replaces like 90% of its fleet of cars every 15 years.
Right.
So if we invest in infrastructure now, right?
In 15 years.
In 15 years, 90% of the cars on the road can be electrified.
That can already happen now.
They just
don't want to do
like
it.
You was like, oh no, don't buy a Tesla.
No, Tesla.
It's not.
There's one danger of them that I like them.
double A batteries.
I would love a
Exactly.
Tesla. There's one danger that I learned about with hybrids and electrics through my mechanic that a lot of people don't know about. It's interesting, and I think it's something to keep in mind when you have them. But if they should ever break down or get into an accident, you need to be very, very careful, because one of the first things they want to do is cut the battery, and you cannot just cut the battery on those. It'll blow. Yeah, hybrids and electrics. Mechanics have to get a special certification if they have like a wrecking company where they tow, because the first thing they want to do is cut the engine.
Right.
Well, that, I mean,
There
I
you
just
go.
sit there. I just
Boom
sit
and
in that-
doom.
I just
God
sit in my
dang.
hey man. I just sit at my.
If you
mechanic
wanna be
table
talked
working
out
on
of
my car.
something, Talk to Scott. He'll
Right.
talk you right out of it.
Yeah,
Out
yeah.
of it.
No, I mean
I was
it's just something to consider. I mean, it's just extra.
Oh,
training
you
the guys
just
gotta go.
might die. Nothing. Not a big deal.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
but it's something to remember. I mean, just because, like, let's say you break down and you have a record come out and the guy wants to cut your battery, you need it, and he does not train. You can tell him, "Yo, don't cut the battery." That's all you got to remember. Just like, so that way you know, don't cut the battery. Just lock that up here. Do this, and you'll be good. But for real, like if they're a wrecking crew, they have to get certified. And hybrids and electric, so they get the certification. But I just thought it was an interesting thing because I didn't know about that.
So,
Like,
so
because-
Carlos, to get to the future, we need to use electric cars. Like, what else
Bro.
are we going to use? What other
Bro.
resource can we use?
Listen,
Water,
This
sun?
stuff does. Oh my God, this stuff don't matter until everybody's doing it.
But Miguel just said you
Everybody
got to start.
do it,
Start
though.
that.
You know how many
No.
people doing it.
Purchase.
You know
how many
how
people
you
bought
start?
Teslas?
You know how you start? You make it affordable.
Yes.
That's how you do it.
But you gotta
Is
get
it
there.
affordable?
But
Yeah.
you got to get
No.
there.
Oh my
It's a
God, you
luxury
guys.
The Model S starts at what, $60,000? It's a luxury car. Like that's you're selling to a specific niche.
What I'm saying is this: is that if they weren't too busy making Chevy Bolts and all those ugly cars with the Spark, then it makes sense. It's like, okay, well now this helps.
So
But that's
the
not the
ugly
norm.
cars are less expensive though. You got to start
Right.
there
But nobody's buying it.
because they're ugly.
People buy it.
Some
People
people buy it.
Make
got-
it look nice.
If you buy, you got people doing Coopers. So
Yeah,
the whole point is that this
It was-
doesn't.
that was-
It's,
I know. I
this
know.
whole thing.
I was like,
is
I'm
that
not
it
gonna
doesn't-
acknowledge it because he's wrong. I don't have to tell him that he's wrong because he knows
You
that he's
know,
wrong.
Jerome sent me that picture. I said, "That's cute. What does that car want to be when it grows up?" I want to be a real car.
Oh my
I
god.
want to be a real car.
I don't know. It just don't make any sense, man. It just
it
don't
does
make
make
sense.
sense
It
because you
doesn't.
got to
It
start
doesn't.
somewhere. And then you're saying like,
Yeah.
everybody doesn't do one thing at once. You got to start
Yeah.
somewhere. You need that one person. I don't know how
Yeah.
many cars Tesla sold, but they sold enough. They put their stats up on the website. It's better than nothing.
They'll
And
make more affordable
Again,
models.
with the exception of the battery, like it's better for the environment. We've running out of like renewable resources or something. I don't know. But if we don't have to do it, don't do it. Use electricity.
Right.
So how much
Electricity
was
is like
So how much is
renewable.
how much would you pay for a Tesla?
However much they asked me to. I was about to buy it till COVID hit, but I'm
Would
like,
you-
all right,
would-
this does make sense now because I don't try enough. I don't drive
Would you
enough.
buy?
Yeah.
Would you buy $1 million house to live in?
Yes,
Why?
because it's nice.
That's it?
Because-
Wait,
That's
real
it.
estate prices
You don't
are
need a
going to
reason.
Philly. $1 million house is
Because I get to live in it.
In Philly, would you pay $1 million to live in
No.
a house?
No, not in Philadelphia. Well, it depends on what part of Philadelphia. Yes. If it's like Chestnut Hill or yes,
No, man. No.
Yes.
No.
What do you
No,
mean,
it doesn't
no?
make sense.
it does. I
It
mean,
makes
you
sense,
asked me if I
Carlos.
would buy it
It
though.
makes no logical sense.
It
Logic.
doesn't-
We're talking
there
about
doesn't need to
logic.
be. People
mean-
want what they want. That's
Right.
kind of the force
That-
behind the markets.
I
right?
understand
A lot of people
that.
go to McDonald's because I
I-
freaking want it. Like,
I understand
No,
it. But the
no.
whole thing is this.
doesn't
Should
make
you-
sense. Make your own food.
Should you get a motorcycle? You could. But if you look at the things that you're still going to need, if you only drive 2 times per week, you're I mean, I don't want to say you're limiting yourself, but basically how you going to carry stuff, but you said you don't carry stuff. Like
Yeah.
if you're okay, if you're okay doing that, then maybe it makes sense. But to me it doesn't make any sense because my life is not like that
Yeah.
at all.
That's
So,
fair.
I'm like I need to carry stuff. I got to put stuff in the trunk.
Yeah, because you like to waste gas. You got Miguel. He's environmentally sensitive or conscious.
Oh,
So he's
the
like,
thing
yo,
with it-
I'm very grateful I'm in my area. I walk. I have a ShopRite and an Acme within walking distance. So I go
Own parking lot.
You got a own lot?
Yes, he got his own parking lot.
Anyway,
it's a shared parking lot. Yeah.
If you have a place to plug this thing in, then it makes a lot more sense for you to get it. The range on a base Model S is like 200 miles, right? And for most people, that's going to be well enough for them to be able to do whatever it is that they want to do. You're not going to be doing road trips on this, but how often do you actually do a road trip? You know? So
right.
Carlos, it may not be that illogical for you to get a Tesla if you really want one. There's also value in the aesthetic and the utility of having it. Like if that makes you happy, it makes you happy.
Of course there's value there, but does it make financial sense?
It doesn't. Not every decision needs to make 100% pure financial sense because humans don't operate on pure financial sense.
Right.
Like people will pay, $50,000. The example we were talking about earlier, that lady was trying to sell Jerome's house. She paid what, $60,000 above what market value was for that house?
Right. And now she can't sell it.
Now she can't sell it. But that's because she made a move that did not make financial sense because she felt like it was the right thing to do because it made her happy at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't a financial choice. It was an emotional choice.
Yes.
Right.
And I mean, there is the argument to be made that there is value in doing that. And if you were to attach a dollar amount to it, I don't know, maybe it's worth it.
There is value, but it's not financial value. It's emotional value.
So you can't think about all finances. You got to think about other stuff too, including like saving it, like being better for the environment, get into the future.
I understand it, but it still doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make financial sense.
Because you're not gonna.
It doesn't make financial sense.
You're still gonna need a car.
I genuinely don't think that I will need a car. I haven't needed a car for the last.
Miguel don't use a car. This guy walks.
Walking.
The only time, literally,
you hear this?
The only time that I drive is to go to Cash and Coffee, and now it's virtual, so I don't need that.
Oh my God, he's a hermit like us now.
Well, there you go.
I had hope for you, Miguel. No, I mean, look, like this. Get it if you want, man. Just remember what I said when you fall off your bike, man.
Yo, come on, man.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
That's the thing. I do recognize the fact that I will at some point probably fall off my bike. That's fine.
I don't think it's worth it my God.
Like, I'm not going to fall off my bike going like 70 miles per hour. I'm going to fall off my bike going over a turn at 25 miles per hour.
How?
It's probably going to happen.
Question is, does it make sense? No. Does it make financial sense? No. Does it make logical sense?
The
no.
Motorcycle makes financial sense. Does it make sense? It's only $2,000.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Oh, is that what you said? 2,000?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was like 6 to 7.
No, it's significantly cheaper to buy a motorcycle than it is for me to buy a car, and that's part of the reason. Because like for the $12,000 or $15,000 I'd be spending on a car, I could buy a motorcycle for $5,000 at the most.
Right, 2 motorcycles.
Buy 2, yeah. And I don't want to take out another car note. So
what's it? Oh my God! All right, y'all crazy, man. Y'all crazy.
I just don't want to. Don't judge me. I just don't want to.
And what happens when you need to make a long distance trip?
I'll go rent a car. But how often do I need to make a long distance trip?
You don't know. You just gotta prepare for the future.
No, not often.
Not often.
Yes, you do.
You don't know. He knows his life. It's not often.
There are two situations in which I need to drive outside of Philadelphia on a regular basis. One is to go to Michigan, and I buy an airplane for that. I got an airplane ticket. And the other one is to go to Jersey, which I can do on the motorcycle. Or I can rent a car if I feel like, whatever, feeling comfortable, whatever.
Speaking of renting cars, y'all, look, man, Turo, you ever mess with that?
I've used Turo.
Oh my God, it's wonderful, man. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is great.
Is it that good?
Yes, really compared to like you trying to get a car from Not Rent-A-Center.
Like Avis or
showing his age
Those
there.
Corporate places, they make the experience so rigid. It's terrible. It's basically like the car Turo is just Airbnb for cars, and it's so much. It's so easier. You get so much variety, and people want to serve you. They're fighting hard to give you the best experience. Where you go to like Miguel said, Avis and that stuff. They don't care about you.
Yep.
So what was your experience? When did you rent the car?
It was great. It was like 2 weeks ago. It was great. I was like, oh my god, got the car that day.
Like did they drop it off or like what? What was the story?
You can pay them. Yeah, she dropped it off.
Yep.
I was out the next day. I'm like, what the? I'm like, why did not Ben know about this? It's so easy.
It is.
And if you that's why, like what I was trying to get with Scott, I was like, what's your dream car? Cause I was thinking about us doing that when we go to Ohio. Yeah. It's so easy.
My dream car, man. Oof.
It is so easy.
Yeah.
If you look, man, it is so worth it. I never do that. But when something is worth it, that's worth it. And I also support small businesses, and I appreciate the fact that people are taking back power from like these organizations. And I don't mind the organizations having power and doing their thing if they're serving us right. But a lot of times they're not.
No,
like the hotel experience just now. Yeah. We're trying to go to Ohio. We booked the thing, and we're like, hey, can we rearrange our room? They're like, no. If that was Airbnb, they'd be like, sure, we'll take care of you. This is why I hate those companies. Yeah. It's so annoying. These big companies, they don't want to do anything for you. Well, you could have refunded our money back so we can get the room block space, but you give us this hard time, and this is why people go to the small businesses. Take back our power. That's insane what we just went through to get.
And it should. Do you ever hear of an oligopoly?
Yes.
Yeah.
So a lot of the big corporations, that's what they are, like the internet service providers. The reason why we don't have like Korea speed internet, like South Korea, is because they all decided not compete and just raise their prices and give crappy service.
Yep. Carlos, how was that experience? You trying to get those tickets back?
Trash.
It was trash, man. My God. If that would not happen on Airbnb, and even if they were like, look, we're gonna take care of you because I'm trying to make sure you don't hit me over a 1-star review. I want more business. If the organizations thought the same way, we would be fine, but they don't. They just stop caring. And maybe they don't have the capacity or the resources to care, but it's still the same result. So,
yeah, make it make sense, Miguel.
Okay, wait a minute. What's the price on this? Oh, 84,000. Okay, I saw the 9,000. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's a nice ride, though. Man.
It is a nice Tesla. It's a really nice Tesla.
Something I've learned through one of the groups that I'm a part of. It's lifetime membership. They add stuff for all the time, and one of the things that came up recently was a training on what they call lease hacking. Essentially, there's a way for you to lease a car and actually make money when you turn it back in. So you essentially get paid to drive the car. I don't understand the system, but I'm gonna have to go back through it and share with you all, because I'm thinking about doing that when I get my next car. Like, not even buying. If I can find a car where, like, when I turn it in, I'm gonna make more than I spent on it.
Why? I mean, why does that matter? Like, somebody please tell me why we think cars are not a good asset. I'm just trying to figure it out.
They're not.
They go down in value.
It is.
Recording in
if
progress.
If it's doing something for you.
It's not.
We got to go back to our definitions of assets and liability.
Yeah.
An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket.
So for me is the same thing the card does. I have utility. I can use it whenever I want.
Right. Yeah, so utility. That's a better word. I'm sorry. Yep,
yeah, a card's a liability until you, like we were talking about, you sell it on owner financing, and now all of a sudden it's an asset. It's put money in your pocket.
So if you need a car to get to work, what does that count as?
Or rent it.
That's still a liability.
Mm-hmm.
It just has utility.
That's all. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. Assets put money in your pocket. So if you buy a car, rent it out, now it's an asset.
Okay, I get it.
Bro,
go back
to Rich Dad Poor Dad.
No, I've seen it.
Go back to Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Oh my God.
Carlos getting attacked.
I know. No, I seen it, but I just like, how can we keep saying this like but not a liability? It's a financial liability.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a liability all around.
I think it's a good. I mean,
it's a liability because you gotta drive it. You can get in accidents. You gotta always worry about it. It can get stolen. It's a liability.
So what is a motorcycle?
Same thing.
Absolutely a liability.
Right.
Same thing.
So which one?
Recording in progress.
I actually have my permit application right here.
Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna go drop it off today.
You just say you want to buy one. Don't even say is it smart. Just do it.
No. So I've wanted to buy one for years, a long time, ever since I was like 20, right?
Yeah.
And everybody kept telling me it was a bad idea, don't do it. It's a bad idea, don't do it. It was a bad idea, don't do it, right? And now I'm 30, and I'm like, if I don't do it now, I probably will never do it.
Yeah,
and that doesn't change the fact that it's a bad idea or whether or not it's a bad idea, right? But I want to do it, and I have the money, and I can pay for it in cash. It just kind of makes sense, you know. Like I feel like right now I'm responsible enough, and I'm a financially secure enough position, and I don't need the utility of a car. That I can just do it, and it's not gonna be a big deal, at least financially. So I feel like this is the best time. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, used cars are up like 20%.
Yeah, we have a car shortage right now, so they're actually becoming, used cars are becoming more expensive. I was watching something on that the other day. I'm like, really? I didn't know about that. Like, in order to get a brand new car, you're going to be put on a waiting list. Here's my dream motorcycle. I'll send you in the chat. This is what I wanted back when I was like in my early 20s. A Hayabusa, man.
Ooh.
It's got a 7
I'm
second.
not fucking with that. That looks like that will kill me.
It's a 7 second quarter mile. Like when you pump the throttle. That's without modification. That's without. We have near me in Atco, there's a raceway, and it's just a quarter mile drag, and people, they bring their cars or their bikes and stuff out there to show it off. And that was the fastest thing I had ever seen on that raceway. Jeez. Was a Hayabusa. I was talking to my friend, I saw boom, and I turned around, I was like, what was that? He goes, oh, that's a Hayabusa. And it has the guy needed like a brace on it, so when he dumped the throttle, it didn't like throw up on him. So he had like this brace on the back, so you could just dump the throttle and go. Now they, what is it? Dodge has made a car that does a 7 second quarter mile that looks like a muscle car, the Hellcat. You seen that?
I have not.
Oh my God. It's a version of the Dodge Charger, but it looks like a classic muscle car, and it has a 7 second quarter mile. I'm like, what? My brother-in-law sent me a video of it doing that. I'm like, there's no way. I'll show you the Hellcat. Hellcat. Here it is, Hellcat Charger. I'll send you.
Just make sure you get your non-paying tenants to pay for that liability.
There you go.
Right? So I know.
That's what I intend to do.
And there's the Hellcat right there.
Once I buy another house, I'm gonna actually pay for a parking space with the with the rental income.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm just messing around, man. Yeah, no, I still think about that. I'm thinking about that. I was thinking about that too, man. I was thinking about that. I was telling Jerome today. I was like, man, when am I gonna buy this Tesla, man? When am I gonna do it? Am I just gonna be like, F it, and just do it?
Why do you want to buy it if you don't think it makes sense? Because it's not a necessity.
Bro, it's the same reason he wants the motorcycle.
It's
the same thing. Yes, it's the same thing. Just like I want a big house for nothing.
So I don't buy stuff because I want it. I buy it because it makes sense mostly.
Yeah, Carlos, what do you currently drive?
Toyota Camry hybrid.
A Mini Cooper.
Great car. How old is it?
I have no idea. I think I got it 2014.
He has a good car. He doesn't even need a car. I don't even know why he's trying to buy a car. It makes no sense for him to try to buy a car.
Once your Camry dies, then maybe they'll go look at buying a Tesla.
Right.
Well,
in 10 years.
I have to get a house before I get a Tesla, and then I gotta get a rifle before that.
Your car will probably
rifle like maybe 1,000.
Getting another.
Yeah. So basically, that's the plan. So I'm gonna get all my my firearms this year. Then I'm gonna get the house. Then I'm gonna get the car. That's the end.
I want kids. I need more space.
Right. It's the same price. It's like the same price. It's becoming like the same price because people are there really won't be self-driving cars like that for a while.
Yeah, there was
a long time.
A book that kind of, I think the author was pretty accurate on where we're going. It was like a futuristic sci-fi book, and like on the planet, like it's pretty much run by robots. Humans just socialize. That's really all they do. They don't work. They don't do anything. They just walk around and hang out with each other.
Bingo.
Things.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the ultimate.
Robots take care of the food. They do the travel. They got teleporters, obviously, because it's the future. But
it sounds good until one of those machines breaks, and then the system is over.
Yeah, in that world too, everybody's got nanotech in them. They're all outfitted with nanotech.
I mean, I don't know where that's where we're going. That's where the world is going.
I think it was pretty accurate. I kind of like some of the stuff that he did too, like the nanotech. Like there's like a friend finder, right? So in order to activate it, you just visualize like a series of like colored shapes. So
you guys are getting the chip. Man. You guys are dead. You getting the chip?
Everybody. I mean, what?
I'm not getting the chip.
Give me the chip.
You're dead. You'll be
Hey,
dead.
look.
Daddy.
At least I won't lose my mind.
You will be dead.
Yeah, no.
You won't have one.
Bro,
No,
I'm
that's not
telling-
what this eviction moratorium.
all right. Because if you don't have the chip, you can't live for free. That's what it is.
No one's ever gonna live for free.
The
That's
chip
not
is the
gonna
vaccine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's the first chip.
Yeah, did
But
you
yeah.
hear about the inventor of the mRNA technology? He was on the board of directors for the FDA. He was on an interview saying the vaccine's hazardous. I petitioned to my colleagues and constituents multiple times, and they rejected my petition. The inventor of the technology says it's hazardous.
That sounds
Yeah,
like
man.
fake news.
No, it's not fake news. I watched the interview.
Well,
I saw it come out of the guy's mouth, and sure enough, he is on the board of directors of the FDA, and he did invent the text.
Miguel's a true believer in the government until the government fails him.
I'm not.
He is a
I'll send you
believer.
the link, man. I'll send you the link. It was eye opening to hear him say that.
Yeah, send it over. I'll take a look.
Bro, that moratorium is going to be extended through October because if you just think about it, like I heard somebody say it, but then I was like, wait, why? Because it's winter. Why would you kick people out in winter?
Ah, yes, that's right.
So
Actually,
then you're gonna
a lot of places don't kick people out during the winter time.
right. So why would the government say, oh yeah, you can start now? It's like, come on, they're not going to do that. And if they do, like, why would you do it at the worst time? But they might because they're just so bad at doing everything.
Yeah.
Well, then expect the real estate crash in spring.
Yes.
Actually, you know what? That makes a lot of sense because then spring market, like, that's when all the agents are active anyway. Like, it's gonna be a hot market next year, really hot.
Yeah.
Hot for
Yeah.
buyers. Buyers market coming up.
Mm-hmm.
How are y'all trying to get how many are you trying to get? Y'all trying to get a couple or what are y'all trying to do?
I'm trying to pick up some multifamily.
Okay.
I think I'll be in a really nice place to do so next year.
I would be
There you go, Miguel.
really
Here's a
grateful
YouTube
with
video,
10.
Interview.
10
I would be really grateful with 10. Yep.
10 pickups that year.
Yes.
Okay. 10 deals, transactions, or buy and holds.
10 buy and holds.
I'll be good with like 3 units, man.
What do you mean by 3 units? 3 doors or a multifamily with 3 doors?
Like 3 units. I don't care if it's 3 single family houses or
Okay.
3
Or one
individual
multifamily
units
with
in a
three
building.
doors,
Like,
or-
I'd be good with 3 units next year.
right.
I would scratch that itch for me.
Okay. I'm going for the big one like Rome. I'm going for
10 is not big.
So I'm going for 5. So 5. I'm doing about like maybe 7 or 8 next year. And it's not that big, but it depends on how hot it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because right now it's trash.
It is trash. Trash is what it is.
But
I mean,
like this one property, I'm like, yo, these rents can't even support this cash flow. They're like, oh, but you can just overcharge. I'm like, I'm not stupid.
not today.
Yeah, they won't pay. They'll just stop and just say, hey, I'm not paying.
Right.
You know what's crazy about this whole thing too? There are like crappy tenants. There's this guy in Jersey who, like, over the past years lost $69,000 because the tenants he had in there already had a habit, like a past habit of just stop paying rents. And now that the coronavirus is out there, they just were like, oh, we're not paying. We ain't ever gonna pay again. And you can't get them out.
That sucks.
Yep.
My
my
pop
God,
on all
it's sad.
sophisticated.
Welcome, Ahmad.
Ahmad.
Hey,
Got the
how's it
glasses and he doing the let me see.
Right.
He's doing.
going? I'm trying to.
I wonder.
I'm trying to decide if this is the best place to be on Cash and Coffee, but it I have to do.
Where are you right now?
How you guys? I'm in Detroit now.
Cool.
Yo, what are you doing out there, man?
I am on my way home. I have to take care of a little family business. Then after that, I'm on the first thing smoking. I love home, but I can't be here for long.
What, Philly?
Going.
No, Michigan.
Oh, Michigan.
Yeah. I'm from where Miguel's
Yeah, those
from.
Michigan
Uh,
people, man.
Yeah, what's so nice about Michigan? They got cows
It's
out there
nice,
or something, or what?
dude.
What is out there?
It is nice.
Then go back to your own
Let's-
state.
I was gonna say, if
Honestly,
it was
if
so
I
nice,
ever
why
leave
you
Philly,
here?
I'll probably go
Right.
back to Michigan.
No, Scott would like it. Scott would like it because
Yeah, Scott would like
if
it.
I recall, like lot of rivers and streams and love
Nature.
stream trees and
A lot of nature.
Yeah, I like it. I just is it cold though? Is the thing. I hate the
It
cold.
gets cold. But
Oh, you don't like the cold, Scott?
No, man.
Oh,
What? That's backwards.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not backwards, man. Like my hands and feet are always cold. So like in the wintertime, I'm freezing the entire winter until it starts heating up.
Damn, Scott, I thought you liked the cold. That's why I'm like, yeah.
No.
Okay.
No. I hate the cold. I mean,
I
I
hate
take
the
cold
heat.
showers, but I take cold showers because of the health benefits, not because I actually like it.
Scott with the logic.
That's
You would
reasonable.
like Northern Cali then. Like I just was in the Bay and 60 year round. You can't beat that.
All right, so
Not
more.
too hot, not too
We getting off track. Miguel about to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moratorium.
Okay, moratorium. It ain't going away. Long
Ever?
story short, it ain't going.
Okay,
not
so-
for the foreseeable future. Maybe next year. I don't know. It depends on what happens with Delta and all this other junk.
Amon, to catch you up on the conversation, we the moratorium got extended to October, and we were talking about the effects that's going to have on the real estate market as a whole, but also whether or not it's going to keep getting extended. Carlos brought up a really good point about the fact that if it ends in October, then a lot of people are still not going to get kicked out of their houses until springtime because there's a lot of municipalities that don't kick people out during the winter.
Right.
So, as an investor, I'm interpreting that as a good thing. That gives us time to prepare
As a
come up
buyer.
with system. Yeah, as the
As a
buyer.
buyer.
Yeah. Like
Yes.
because that's what we do. We acquire distress situations and property. So that's nothing. That's a good thing for us. It's a good thing for the tenants as well for right now. But I can't see who's losing here, in a sense.
So you said investor.
Would you say?
That's who losing. The investors that own these properties, or you got some big investors, but you also have mom and pop investors. And I'm not sure what the stats are, but a majority of landlords are mom and pop investors.
Mhm.
So you have to think about, like, we're investors here and we're looking to acquire, but you also have like investors. It's two parts to it. You got buyers and you got sellers. So there are going to be some investors that need to sell, and they'll be kind of losing out because they got to sell that property or resolve whatever situation. And this stuff, like, this adds up. So we've been on lockdown, or this moratorium has been in place for about a year or something like that. Can you imagine not receiving your payments for a year that you kind of relied upon, and maybe you lost your job or something like that? In addition to that, the banks, they want their money too. So it starts to add up, and it starts to get really, really, it's kind of unfair. It's kind of unfair,
Well,
but
maybe
so
I'm not understanding the moratorium like in the full realm. So you're
Yeah, me
saying
either.
like the landlords, they don't get reimbursed or compensated for the months that was
Yeah, so they
Wow.
kind of
So the
lose
moratorium-
out. They're not, if they get a tenant.
Yeah.
Some tenants are, you got the smart and savvy tenants that are going to take advantage of the situation just because, but you also got some tenants that just can't pay. And just because you can't pay, Mr. Tenant and Mr. Landlord, doesn't mean that there is that the loan payment stop from the banks. They're going to want their money, and I don't know what the details are. Maybe we get like
a lot
guest
of those
speaker.
are in forbearance.
Yeah,
So
see, I
they
don't know
might
what
get
that
some
is.
relief. They might get, a forbearance is basically where they start foreclosure process. They start the paperwork, but they don't follow through with the full foreclosure. So that's one part of forbearance. Another part is where they start the process and they'll pause it with the right to pick it up right where they left off. This is beneficial in judiciary states when you're foreclosing. Like if you get through the part of the process and they're like, no, and they end up being able to stay, you can go ahead and file for a forbearance just in case they stop paying. Again, you don't have to just start all over. You can start right where you left off. But a lot of banks have, the government has been forcing them to do these forbearances. So some landlords have gotten some relief, at least on the mortgage payment, but they still got taxes and insurance that need to be paid, carrying costs for utilities, all of those things, and that adds up quickly.
I had a
That's only
question.
saving them a couple $100 a month, really.
How much cash do you guys plan to hold to take down these deals that you're saying?
30 grand.
Okay. Rome, or are you gonna do
Cash to
Burr?
hold, I'm thinking I'm not going to hold any of my own cash. I'm going to borrow cash,
Okay.
and good number is probably like 100,000, because to be completely honest, I don't plan on paying 20 more than $20,000 for a house. It just doesn't make sense, a house to finance. So like I said, I need a 10, so maybe I'll boost that number up to like 210,000.
Oh my God, he's still talking.
Sorry, we haven't been able to hear you for like the last like 45 seconds.
Oh my God, I quit.
Oh my God. The last thing we heard was maybe 200.
Oh my God, my internet is really bad, and I'm giving a bad experience, so I'll shut up.
Hey, you're fine.
Oh, you're good,
For
man.
the most part,
That's all good, man.
Look, Jerome, Carlos is the one usually freezing and his background's green.
This is terrible.
Yeah, it's true.
So I mean, everybody's allowed to have that happen.
Yep. It's all good.
I'm a millennial, so bad internet is like the death of me, man.
You want to finish your thought?
No, it's going to mess up.
You got to get that 5G.
The home, is it just like a router issue?
I don't know. It's something going on with Verizon lately.
Yeah, I think it's probably his internet. It's not him, because he never has an issue. And he knows his stuff, with the computers and all that. Like,
he's got gig speeds, but only using like
gigabit internet,
He's only using 1 megabit.
Ahmad, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was saying I plan to lease. I've option all of my deals. I have a few tenants that are ready to take on the responsibility of a lease option. So I plan to